Hey everybody, so quite a few people have asked me for an update on my pathway and how it's held up and how I'm liking it. So I'm just going to create a quick little video. There are some things that I would have done a little bit differently if I could go back and do it all over again, which I actually did go back and do it all over again, literally. I'll explain what I mean in just a bit, but things I would have done differently. In the original video, you probably saw that I just put down pea gravel as my base, and I don't think that was a solid enough base. It wasn't packed tight, so when you'd step on the stones, it would move, the ground would move underneath. So I would just put sand, or maybe a combination of pea gravel underneath for drainage and then sand on top, and really take the time to use a tamper and pack everything down tight. I think that would have made a big difference, because I did go back and do everything again using the stones that I had made, and this time I packed some sand on top, and I think that's going to make a big difference. The other thing is some of my stones ended up cracking because I think one was because I didn't have a nice solid base underneath, and two, because I think I made them too thin. This is how thin they actually were. I'd probably make them twice as thick, if not more, than this one. So what would that be? 2, 3, maybe 4 inches thick instead, just to make them a little more solid. So that's another thing. The other problem I ran into is the polymeric sand that I used. I think it would have done a good job, but I put these stones in so tight together that, they were all basically touching each other, and they would form. So picture this stone up next to this one really close. It formed a V here, and the polymeric sand is not really ideal for V, what do you call them? Junctions or whatever. So it started to crack in those V's, and then of course the crack just kind of keeps going after it starts. And so what I did was I actually picked up all the stones, took them out, set them aside, and I cleaned up all the polymeric sand that was in there, swept up all the chunks, vacuumed them up, and then I relayed all the stones again, but this time I didn't let them touch, because the sand, I think, needs to touch the full perimeter of the stone in order for it to really form a nice bond and not have any really narrow, thin junctions. I know that's not the right word. I can't think of the right word. Yeah, and so the gaps between the stones, making those bigger, don't let any of the stones touch. I think that's important too. Putting a sealer on the pathway afterward, I think, is important. I did not do that yet after I rearranged these stones, but I can just tell that it feels a lot more solid than the last one. Gosh, what else would I change? Not really quite sure that I'd change anything else, but those were the main things. So hopefully this is helpful to you. If you have any questions, let me know. Hoping this holds up better than the other one. Learned a lot by making mistakes, but that's the way I like to do it, because I'm an independent girl and I like to do things myself and learn things the hard way and do things better each time I do them. So, all right, thanks for listening. Have a great day.